Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to ECUS, the Economics Canvas Hub series. Our purpose is to engender and enlighten students as seen through the eyes of our former students who've taken economics at Chabot College. Good morning. It's my very great pleasure to introduce Mr. Edgar Okorie, who was a student of mine several years ago while at Chabot College. He took both micro and macroeconomics, where he performed at the very highest levels. I think in an effort to engage students and to tell them the truth about certain things, I would like to let the students know that Edgar applied without having completed his AA in mathematics, computer science, and econ to try and get into some good schools. He was completely unsuccessful, and this is because he didn't complete those degrees. And the following year, when he did complete degrees, while maintaining his same very high grade point, essentially a 4.0, he not only was successful in getting to those good schools, but he was on a full scholarship where he attended Berkeley. Because of his math background and computer science background, it's my judgment that his success was very highly dependent upon taking those basic courses. In fact, he was so successful that he was actually offered a full-time teaching position at Berkeley, starting, as I recall, $160,000 a year, which he promptly denied because he got a better offer for Columbia. So where he's just completed his law degree and now working for a firm in New York. And the name of that firm is what, Edgar?
Goodwin Procter.
Goodwin Procter, yeah. Where I won't mention the salary there, but it was significantly more than is being offered at Berkeley.
So one point of clarification: I was given the opportunity to pursue a teaching position there at Berkeley, but I turned it down so that I could go to law school in New York.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that's how I characterize it. So again, then I've made the introduction. Martin, why don't you lead off the questions today?
Sure. So can you give us an idea of maybe what brought you to Chabot, and then what experiences did you have taking classes there, especially economics?
Yeah. So Chabot, when I was looking into, community college to attend, because there's a cost factor that a lot of people don't. Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are aware of, going to community college route instead of going straight to a four-year. But for specific to Chabot, they had a great variety of classes that I was interested in. Every single class that I needed in order to transfer to the school that I was interested in transferring to at the time, which was Berkeley, was available year-round. So that pretty much sealed the deal for me. It was in a convenient location because I lived there in the Bay Area. And it just offered all the classes that I needed.
Edgar, since you have the advantage of attending both Chabot College and the university, as honestly as you can, how do you feel about the differences in the quality of the education? But what about the level of teaching? Were they comparable or not comparable? What do you think?
Unequivocally, absolutely comparable. I think some of the best professors I've ever had throughout my entire educational, journey has been from Chabot. Yourself with economics, Anita Wah in mathematics. She changed the way that I really viewed problem solving and approaching it that way. Same thing with the economics courses I took. So the quality of the education was, absolutely comparable. But the difference, the distinction that you noted is, where the difference exists with, the students that are at those universities are, quite talented individuals.
A lot of people, I like to tell people that economics is more of a foundational discipline that can be used to launch into other fields. And given your field of law, can you see or can you explain to viewers how economics helped you in that particular field?
Yeah, absolutely. So, economics teaches you how to think in a way that elucidates important insights about the world. And these insights apply broadly across disciplines. And being keenly aware of those tools and how they apply in the real world allows you to see things that individuals in, let's say, more focused disciplines might miss.
Mhm.
It's contributed a lot to creative problem solving, where I just think about things that apply. I don't want to say in an economic sense, but like they're just it's a mode of thinking that allows you to just pick up insights without creatively. That's the way I'll put it.
So if I had to ask you one or two insights that you've had in economics that actually apply to you daily in your thinking, what might that be, if there was any?
Oh no, this is very easy. Without a doubt, by far, the concept of opportunity cost. I mean, a free advice that I can offer up to anyone listening to this right now is to open up a tab on your web browser, Google the phrase opportunity cost, then proceed to use that calculus as a significant factor in guiding your decision making, especially today, because we're in a world where we have so many options, and that creates a problem of how to properly prioritize them. But if you weigh the opportunity cost of each of those options, it automatically generates a useful hierarchy of decisions for you. And that insight, picking that up from Econ 1, microeconomics, just changed the way that I looked at decision making. Absolutely.
It's funny.
Good.
You're describing, Ken was once my instructor too, a little bit before you, but just maybe a year or two. But you're describing a very similar kind of explosion of thought that I had too, taking economics in Ken's class. It was opportunity cost, and me, it was the backward bending labor supply curve. I remember, seeing how the fact that people will respond differently to wage increases once their basic needs have been met, and that it doesn't mean that it was special, but it was special to me in terms of me saying, hey, there's another way of thinking about things. So I can relate.
Absolutely.
What advice would you have for new 18-year-old students who are going to enter Chabot for the first time? The average student coming right out of high school here locally, about taking courses at Chabot.
The advice is to take it as an adventure, a learning adventure, because looking over my life, what I've found that in the moments I've been the most engaged and I've received the most, fruitful rewards proportionate to my effort, were in those instances in which I was learning something. And starting out at 18, all you have to do is learn. I mean, at any age, all you have is learning to do, but especially at 18, that's where you try to take in as much information as possible to develop a certain set of wisdom that'll guide you and help you orient your life moving forward. So if you just take, take it as an opportunity for you to learn every single day you come to campus, it will, it'll benefit you, not just in the short term, but definitely in the long term.
To follow up on that, those 18-year-olds taking an economics class who may have some preconceived notions, what can you do to help them out? And did you have any preconceived notions going into an econ class?
I pretty much started it blank, but I knew I had some kind of, and that's an advice I would give students. Just put away your preconceived notions and just allow the class to occur and learn from it. And from there, you can try to figure out what you want to build on. But, definitely pay attention to the opportunity cost section of the class is what I would say. But, I would advise prospective, econ students at Chabot to approach the classes with a singular objective. Make the ideas and concepts you've learned practical. Economics is an applied science to me. So, and each object you learn, seeks to describe or explain some real phenomenon in the world. It's tethered to the world. It's not something that, just necessarily lives in the abstract. So because that's a function, that's a feature of the course itself, I would advise those students to do the work to ensure that they're connecting these concepts to its real world applications. And you'll find that, not only will this greatly aid your understanding of the material, but by doing this, it'll help you discover ways to apply these concepts to your own personal benefit.
Yeah, I always tell my students that there's a simple thought experiment that could help prove that economics is practical. If you ever get lost on an island by yourself, your knowledge of contract law or your knowledge of compound interest is not going to help you that much, but your knowledge of economics will. You know, making choices to survive is going to be essential in that situation, and economics can help you do that.
Yeah, it deals with the fundamental question of scarcity and how to, use those resources. Absolutely.
Ed, I want to thank you very much for taking your very valuable time to sharing with us this morning, I think, which is very good and insightful advice for our future students. Is there anything left on the table that you'd like to share with our students?
Yeah, again, I would reiterate some of the things that I've said. Approach the class with an open mind. Economics really teaches you how to think and parse out the noise, is what I say. Because as a science, as a field of study itself, it incorporates so many other fields. There's mathematics and statistics, and all of those tools are useful. And if they approach it with an open mind, they'll learn something that absolutely will fundamentally change the way that they view the world. And that's not something I could say for every discipline.
All right. Again, thank you so much. Bye for now, Edgar.
Good talk.
Bye. Good talk.
Bye-bye.